Welcome, everybody, to the Rye Town Park Commission meeting of April 21st, 2026. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Debbie, please call the roll.
Commissioner Lindsay Jackson.
Here.
Commissioner Jason Klein.
Here.
Commissioner Keith Cunningham.
Here.
Commissioner Josh Nathan.
Here by Zoom.
And I understand that
Mayor Marino will
is
not be
absent.
here.
President Zuckerman.
Present. Thank you. Adoption of the minutes of March 17th, 2026. There are no additions, corrections. May I have a motion and a second, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No- None opposed. Public comment on non-agenda items. Any members of the public wish to speak on non-agenda items? It's on the agenda. Debbie, anybody from Facebook or otherwise?
I'm a little late to Facebook. I will let you know as soon as I get logged in.
While we're doing that, first resolution is setting a special meeting of the Rye Town Park Commission to coincide with the annual community conversation. Last meeting, we set the community conversation for Sunday, May 17th. Our regular meeting would have been on the following Tuesday, May 19th. So we are combining the community conversation with a special meeting and eliminating the regular meeting of May 19th. And that's what's in the resolution, paraphrasing. If there are no questions or corrections, may I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item is a resolution to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Hudson River Valley Greenway. As you are aware, we got a grant of $250,000 for the Hudson River Greenway for the project we call the Rye Town Park ADA compliant promenade to erect an ADA compliant sidewalk along the promenade and also stormwater mitigation. The grant was obviously approved, and they sent us a memorandum of understanding, which I just happened to get yesterday and sign yesterday. So now we're approving it non-pro-tunc. Are there any questions about that? If not, may I have a motion and a second?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Please call the roll, Debbie.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes.
Commissioner Klein.
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham.
Yes.
Commissioner Nathan.
Yes.
President Zuckerman.
Yes. Our next resolution is, goes along with
Did you
that.
pass the special meeting
Pardon me?
resolution? Yeah.
The next resolution revolves around the seeker requirement for the same project. The resolution before us is a resolution to declare the Rye Town Park Commission as lead agency, and together with a part one of the short form environmental assessment form. Are there any questions regarding that? After we send out notification to lead agency, this gets sent to any involved municipalities, including the city of Rye, which will issue a building permit and possibly some other permits as their local law requires, the DEC, and any related agencies that may be involved with the granting of any permits regarding the construction. So we will have to wait 30 days and then complete secra at probably our June meeting, because 30 days will not have elapsed between now and our May meeting. So may I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
I'll second.
Debbie, please call the roll.
Commissioner Nathan?
Aye.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Commissioner Klein?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
President Zuckerman?
Yes. Our next item is a resolution regarding water bottle filling stations and drinking fountains. And also Debbie, I think the showers are on that as well.
Yes, correct.
Okay, in the showers. This resolution is to accept a donation of bottle filling, drinking stations, and shower towers from the Friends of Rye-Town Park. And I'll just quickly read the resolved section that the Rye-Town Park Commission acknowledges and accepts a generous donation of a bottle filling and drinking fountain station and 4 shower towers from the Friends of Rye-Town Park, and expresses its sincere gratitude to the Friends for its commitment to supporting the park. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The Friends of Rye-Town Park, as you know, have been very generous and giving of both time and funds to support the park. So, I have a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any further comment?
I would just add the pictures of the
Oh.
shower tower on your screen. So that's those are the shower towers. There are 4 of them. And the bottle filling station and water fountain matches the model. We have 2 others at the park already, also donated by the Friends. They've been very successful. And this model will be installed at the first aid station, where we have identified a lot of beachgoers go in search of fresh drinking water. So this is going to be very, very helpful for our visitors.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. We're gonna have to wait for Josh. Josh is on a 2-second delay.
It happens when you're on the Zoom. It
Yeah.
happened to me at the last meeting, where I would say something and then 2 seconds later I heard my voice.
I'm gonna have a brief discussion regarding capital
You
project.
can use my vote for 2 different things.
You just have to talk quickly in between.
You're gonna be counted twice, once when you say it and once when we hear it.
Yeah.
All of the above.
Just a brief discussion regarding capital projects. We've already mentioned the bathhouse project. The interior of the bathhouse is moving along very, very well. I don't know how many of you have had a chance to be there recently. It's actually, I would say, approaching completion. I think that it will be completed before Memorial Day and maybe even by the time of the community conversation. Not sure about that.
These photos are from today.
It's hard to see them.
Are too far away? You want me to change
Yeah,
screen?
well, I don't know why Josh is on 2 screens here and we can't see it over there.
Per your request.
No, I didn't
I
request
saw
that.
it live
Yeah,
and it looked good.
yeah, even more today than when you were there.
Yeah.
So that is, they're approaching completion. The tiling is virtually complete, I believe. And they'll be doing the floors and then hopefully installing the fixtures fairly soon. The next project that's under construction is our infamous retaining wall. That's a long distance shot there.
How's that one?
Well, the retaining wall is virtually complete. I believe the stucco is even complete at this point.
Yeah, this is, we're now working on the shower area.
Yeah, which goes along with the shower towers. The shower area has been demolished. We're waiting for a building permit from the city of Rye to do that. I was gonna mention it to the mayor tonight if he was sitting next to me, but he's on Zoom, so I'll mention it to him via Zoom. The shower area will be, hopefully, is the next item that will be completed. It's been totally demolished. Hopefully that will also be completed by the time of beach opening. I mentioned the promenade, we did the seeker. And
What's the date, excuse me, what's the date of the?
Friday, Memorial Weekend.
Thank you. 22nd of May. Thank you.
Yeah,
Do you hear that, Josh?
I heard it, yes. 22nd.
Get on it.
that's when we start collecting money at the beach. It's not that people can't go on the beach, as you know, but they have to start to pay to go on the beach. So, the promenade,
You said May 22nd?
yeah. And we're hoping, I spoke to the engineer regarding the path on the promenade, and we're doing everything we can to move the process forward. We're gonna have to go to the Rye City Planning Board, so that has to be scheduled. And when we get through that, obviously, there'll be a bidding process. But we still hope to be in construction. I snapped the whip and I told them I want to be in construction on or about October 1st. So we get it done before the cold weather sets in and we have the concrete, settling. The other projects we're looking at, we have a congressional directed spending request in to each of Congressman Latimer and Senators Schumer and Gillibrand to completely reconstruct the north bathhouse, add a handicap accessible ramp, and make that area more conducive to both beachgoers and park users at the north end. And just to advise, I've had discussion with the Friends of Rye Town Park, Diana Page. They are very interested in doing their own beautification project at the north end, which I encourage tremendously. And we're looking at other things to occur up there so that is really a more sparsely used area than the rest of the park, and hopefully we can encourage more usage at that part of the park. So that is my brief capital discussion for this evening. Any questions?
A little under the weather, so I'll be brief, or as brief as I can be. The past few presentations, the bathroom, the showers, the filling stations, I think it's all a testament to, and Gary and I have sat here for many years, but our new partners with the City of Rye and the Friends of Rye Town Park. And every board has had a passion for this park, but it's really been refreshing to work with you guys, and we've gotten a lot of things done that I didn't think would get done, so I'm grateful.
Thank you, Lindsay. Next resolution is authorizing the implementation of our beach fees, season permits, daily beach parking, facility rentals for the 2026 season. And there is only one change from last year. The only change is the open water swim permit is going from $70 to $80. And the reason for that is that we're gonna probably need more beach coverage during the open water swim. After discussion with the Rye City Police Department and what they're requesting, we'll probably need new, or not new, additional lifeguards, both, especially on the water. And we have changed the route at least once, and it'll maybe changed again, that the open water swimmers follow. And in full disclosure, I'm one of those people who swims. So yes, the rate will affect me, but I'll vote for it anyway.
How many of those do we typically sell in a year?
Between 1 and 200,
Between
100 and 200.
100?
Usually around 160 or so last year. We had a lot more during COVID because all the indoor facilities were closed. So we had several hundred people during that period of time. So we have,
And of those people, do they typically, those who buy the open water swim permits, do they buy parking permits, or do they typically pay to park, or?
no, that's included.
The water swim permit comes with parking.
Okay.
The program is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, only from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. No, that's, it's it's possibly the only such program in the entire area. We get people who just like to swim in open water in a very guarded situation. We have lifeguards on the beach. Vic is sitting here, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Lifeguards on the beach, and we have lifeguards also in boats on the water. One is out at the far end of the jetty, and one is at the boat line that connects the jetty with the pier at Playland. And there may be another one, of course, the course has been changed, as I say, at the request of the Rye City Marine Patrol. Unlike, the people who like to swim around in the marked areas at Oakland Beach, this is going far out into the jetty. The old course actually went across and towards the condominiums, but that course has been eliminated. That's the part that's been eliminated, and there's going to be more swimming towards Playland with the acquiescence of the County of Westchester. So anyway, we felt that it would be appropriate after, at this point, to raise the fee slightly. And other than that, there are no other fee changes. Questions?
I'd say I'm just glad to see that there really aren't many changes to the fee schedule. I know we had gone through fee changes last year and then a few years before that. So this is nice to see some consistency in it. I think it'll help us do well. I think it did very well last year, and I think with prices of everything else going up, it's nice to see that a resource like this is able to stay consistent.
Yeah, we've as Jason alludes, we have periodically raised fees and lowered fees, designed elasticity models to see if you raise the fee, will fewer people come? If we lower fees, will more people come? And the decision was made to keep the fees the same. I think consistency is a good thing. People expect it. And we'll see what happens. As we all know, the income from the beach is relatively dependent on the weather, especially on the holiday weekends. If it's a beautiful day, we're going to have more people and more revenue. So, that's what we're doing.
What's the cap on cars, and if we approach that cap or reach that cap numerous times through the summer?
What do you mean cap?
Cap the number of cars
Number of cars?
that we can have in the park.
Do you know, Debbie? I think it's like 300.
I was gonna say 350 is
Yeah.
what, is how they drew it out.
So it's
Yeah,
drawn
we're-
out at
We
350.
actually have our security, park ranger captain and director of grounds and facilities here,
Okay.
but yeah.
So have there been days where we've maxed out the availability for parking?
Yes,
Quite a few days are maxed out.
through the summer, sunny Sundays are pretty dependably maxed out, and it happens regularly.
We try to keep people off the grass as much as possible.
So what ends up happening, what's your guess as far as what happens? Are people then going over to Playland and parking at Playland and then walking over, or? I'm new to this, so I'm just trying to get a feel for what goes on.
My name is Pete Cilio. I've been recently
sorry, what?
appointed. I've been recently appointed the park ranger captain.
Okay.
I've been at the beach for 9 years as a ranger, as a constable, and I did a lot of parking out there. It could happen any day, a beautiful day. It could happen depending on the restaurant. They may have parties. There may be parties of our own. It could be a Monday or Tuesday, we don't know. And then with open water swim, we get or the volleyball. You get 300 cars in volleyball alone. There's 500 participants. Around 5 o'clock, they start filtering in, maybe even earlier.
How many nights a week?
That's one night.
One night a week?
Monday night.
Monday nights.
Monday
too.
nights?
Monday nights.
Yeah. That's one of the most popular activities.
Really?
The whole beach, yeah, and it's been moved this year from Oakland Beach, the Oakland Beach part, which is the part on the Dearborn side of the jetty,
Sure.
to the northern area, which is less crowded.
Okay.
And I think they're very happy with that move,
Great.
at least so far.
It can happen any day.
Okay.
We've opened it and we've shut it multiple times in a day, depending on the volume of people leaving. And sometimes we just open it to season permit holders, residents.
Oh, okay, so day trippers would be, if you start getting close to maximum.
We have
I think-
signs, we put them on the street with 2 rangers. We try to explain to the people, try come back 45 minutes or so, or try Playland. But we try to do the best we can. Some people are not happy, some we satisfy. But it's a very trying occasion, especially when you shut it down.
Sure,
Well, we accommodate the permit holders first.
okay,
That's why they bought the permit,
all right.
you know, and residents second. And non-residents, non-permit holders are the ones that, you know, we would turn away if necessary.
Okay.
We don't want to turn away anybody, but shows the popularity of the park.
It can fill up quite fast. 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning, sometimes it's full.
Really?
Yes, sir. The more beautiful the day, the more people come.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Thanks, Pete. Any other questions? If not, may I have a motion and a second to accept the proposed fee schedule for 2026?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Call the roll, Debbie, please.
Commissioner Nathan?
Aye.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes?
Commissioner Klein?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
President Zuckerman?
Yes. The next item is a resolution to adopt the 2026 operating and capital budget. I don't know if the commission is prepared to pass this resolution tonight. We can if you so feel that it is in order, but Debbie will make a short presentation about the budget, and then the commission will decide as to whether it wishes to approve it tonight.
Commissioners, you've seen drafts of this budget for the past month. In the Staff was working on it up until you got the budget in March. We've continued to work on it through until just yesterday. So at this point, we have a budget. There's a lead sheet in the front of your book, which gives you a summary of the operating budget, the capital budget, and a section that was introduced at the request of the previous Rye City manager, which is small recurring capital. Sometimes accountants call that operating budget as well, but there are some capital expenses that we know we're going to incur every year, and they're not large. So there's a section on that. And essentially, this is a budget with a small operating deficit of $17,000. So the snapshot is that our revenue projected is $1,750,000. We have expenses of $1,760,000, so that gives us our operating deficit. Overall, we expect performance to remain stable, and that's what we're aiming for. The key revenue drivers, parking and beach admission, we expect modest growth, and I'll caveat that in a second. Facility rentals, we expect to be stable. We basically placed our projection on last year's actuals, so same as last year. And we expect concessions and permits also to remain stable, and above everything else, it's the weather, it's the weather, it's the weather. Last season, Memorial Day weekend was just about a complete washout, and all of our projections went right out the window, first week of the season. Likewise, if the weather is gorgeous, we look like heroes. But things happen. The operational changes in this budget from previous years, the big issues are, we have a leadership change. Our Director of Grounds and Facilities, Victor Federicos, who is here today, has stepped in upon the retirement of longtime Park Director Russell Gold. We have new leaders stepping in to lead the waterfront department. Our park ranger captain you just met, Pete Cilio, who's been with the park for 9 years. Our immediate past park ranger captain, Michael Kensell, has had to take a part-time role due to family demands, but he's still with us, and they're working together on a smooth transition. We also have a new head of park attendants. We have a new deputy park director who is here today, Charlie DeLeon, as well. So we have moved around some responsibilities. We also have longtime senior waterfront, we're calling him coordinator, Jerry Cavaluzzi, who was one of our co-captains last year, and is taking an enormously active role in rethinking and recruiting for the waterfront department. It's going exceedingly well. Operational changes. Last year we introduced 2 pilots. One was in facility rentals, and the other was a shared maintenance team. They were both successful, and so we have we're building those out this year as well. The facility rental pilot, we took the software platform that was working exceedingly well for Crawford Park, and 2/3 of the team that was handling facility rentals here at Crawford Park, and we have decided that if you need something done, give it to busy people, and so they are now doing facility rentals for Rydetown Park as well, using the same platform. It went exceedingly well. We had well over I think close to a 60% increase in revenue over budget last year, and we fully expect that we'll see if that model continues. I expect that model will continue to work this year. In addition, we reduced the number of maintenance people who were employed between Rydtown Park and Crawford Park, and you probably have a better way of explaining it, but essentially assigned people where they needed to be, and we had staff that rotated back and forth between the two parks as needed, and the result was a clean park, a safe park, and fewer and lower payroll, bottom line. Other adjustments will be made this year. We're recommending, and it's in the budget, that our policy of restricting admission to the parking lot on weekends and holidays, our policy has been not to allow any non-resident day admissions people in before noon. And the result is that we've lost a bunch of people, and I think, as Pete explained, it's a really hard conversation to have. So Vic Federico is recommending that we change that admission, that cutoff time to 11. So if permit holders and residents want to make sure they get a parking spot, they need to be at the beach by 11. And after that, we'll open it up and we will accommodate permit holders and residents if at all possible, but we'll also welcome our higher paying non-resident day admissions people as well. And in addition, we're going to plan to keep the north booth open, the north gate open, and allow people walking in from the north, if they're residents who like to use that gate, or people walking over from Playland who clearly see that our beach is better, and they will be able to enter our beach at the north instead of being told that they have to walk all the way down to the middle gate, and that walk often discourages them and they turn around and leave. So we're hoping to capture some more of those people. Yes.
Customers, so you would have a setup to.
We'll have a park
payment there,
attendant.
close by there?
Right, we'll have a park attendant with the
Okay.
POS system at the
Okay.
north booth.
Okay.
To be fair, we've had that in the past, but it hasn't been staffed on a regular basis. And that's the change.
Okay.
Debbie, can you explain the 11 a.m. non-resident? How does it work if a non-resident arrives before 11 a.m. and wants to park?
At the moment, if they arrive before 11, they're told by the park rangers at the entrance that they should do something else and come back in an hour. And hopefully the parking lot will still be open then.
Signage
I
up
see.
that explains that potentially?
There is signage now, there has been for years, and yes, we would change the signage so that the time is 11, not noon. Does that answer your question?
It answered my question.
Are you wondering about the policy?
Operational, I'm not sure I can see how it works, but I think you're probably doing it based on experience.
So how it works is, we have a cul-de-sac at the end of Dearborn. So the cars will come down, they'll meet a park ranger close to the entrance who will see if if they're permit holders, they're gonna have a decal on their car. If they're not permit holders, the park ranger checks to see if they're a resident, and they have to do that with proof of residency. If they meet neither one of those categories, then they're informed that they will not be allowed to enter the parking lot, and they'll have to turn around in the cul-de-sac and drive out Dearborn.
Got it.
The reason for that, Josh, a number of years ago, is we had a lot of complaints from residents and permit holders who tried to get into the park, at an early hour, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and the park was full. As Pete explained earlier, it can get filled quickly. And we didn't feel that it was right to turn away permit holders at 10 o'clock in the morning. So.
Got it.
right,
Okay.
I think it's a tremendous policy. If you're a resident permit holder and all of a sudden you're getting there on a busy day and
Right,
you're not allowed in, it's the right thing to do. But it's just saying, like, so as of it stands right now, there is a sign stating, because I'm sure your rangers probably get a little bit of a pushback on that, but a sign to point to, so there is a sign there
Read
now
the
for you
sign.
guys?
read the
Okay,
sign.
all right.
Oh.
It's not just an arbitrary, I'm the guy that's telling you this, there's a sign that tells,
Pardon? It's on the website,
Yeah,
it
that's
goes
fine.
out by text announcement.
okay, yeah, but more importantly, when somebody's there and all of a sudden they're saying, no, you can't come in,
Yeah.
then you guys are probably getting a little bit of grief you don't need to get. What's that?
The bad guys.
Out of curiosity, if it's a not so great weather day, is there a little leeway on that when you say, all right, well, we know the lot's not gonna fill today, let's get whatever revenue can?
Yes, we do good judgment on that. If it's a overcast day or misty day, we don't even try. We just open.
Great.
All right. Any other comments on any aspect?
No, I think bottom line, it's, it's leadership and it's weather.
Weather. Yep,
Any other questions?
let's hope the rain comes on Mondays.
That's right.
No, we want the
Well,
volleyball people to.
Yeah, that's right.
Monday mornings.
Okay,
Tuesdays are good. Tuesdays are concerts.
Tuesday mornings. You can only
No,
make-
not Wednesdays, that's open water swim.
is it the sense of the commission that we can vote on the budget this evening, or not?
I've asked our finance folks and city manager to review it, and we've not gotten feedback yet. So I'd like us to be able to do that and also explain it to our fellow council members. So I'd prefer to vote on it at the next meeting.
That'll be at
Just
the
as a-
community conversation.
I think that would be appropriate for Rye.
Okay. It's not critical. Most people know how I feel about passing the budget. We can do it.
For you and for us is that the fee schedule.
Yeah, the fee schedule is the important thing.
Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, but we probably won't mess with the fee structure at this point?
We already passed it.
Oh, you already did? I
You
guess
just
we're not
voted on
going-
it.
I appreciate the urgency of the fee schedule, and I can get behind that.
Okay.
Does the federal government have a budget yet?
Yeah, the federal government never passes its budget on time. And the Albany
Right.
budget is late too.
We need to ask
But as
for a
I-
continuing resolution.
But as
There you go.
as I say, unlike a municipality like the city of Rye, the town of Rye, the villages of Rybrook, Portchester, and every other government entity, there is no tax levy by the Rye Town Park Commission. So whether we make money, I should say, whether we have a surplus or a deficit, has no effect on the current tax rate of any of the municipalities, because we're not a taxing authority. Any difference between revenue and expenses is made up by both the city and the town, as according to law. So the budget is a guide. We know what we want to spend, and then our income and our expenses are dependent, largely on the weather, because on bad weather, our expenses go down because Vic will tell people not to come in that day, and so our hourly workers will, unfortunately for them, they won't get paid that day. So it's kind of flexible, so we're not harming anybody by waiting another month to pass the budget. But we should pass the budget before the season actually starts on Memorial Day weekend. So with that, we will pass this on to the, we'll table this on to the next meeting. The next item is the request of the Portchester Rybrook Town of Rye Chamber of Commerce to waive a fee of approximately $1,500 for their annual party. Was it the Lobster Fest? Lobster Fest. So the Chamber of Commerce has a Lobster Fest for at least the last few years, and they've requested a waiver from the Parks Commission to help to lower the cost of producing the events. Any comment? This is, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I would say I'm in favor of, I mean, I think, the chamber's been on the up and up, which is great, they're getting a lot of new members. I actually just came from a chamber event, that was occurring right before this, so, and it was very well attended. And I think, you know, this is an organization that supports the local businesses. So, I'd be in favor of this.
Comments from Josh and Keith, the City of Rye representatives?
Sounds great.
Okay.
All good.
All right. Motion to waive the fees. We can do this orally. Motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Who did the motion come from?
Jason?
Got
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Discussion of the policy to open or keep open the beach gates. I'll just preface this. At the last meeting, we had a brief discussion that we said we'd carry forward to this month. The staff did considerable research on other beaches and what their hours were, and the pros and cons of keeping the beach open at night. And their conclusion was, and I'd like to just, at this point, address only the on-season, not the off-season, which we can save for another time. The on-season hours for keeping the beach, or I should say closing the beach at a certain time. The recommended time is 8 p.m. as it is now. I know that there will be some discussion about that, and there are reasons. I don't want to go into all of the reasons. It's set forth in a memo that Debbie sent all of the commissioners. One of the most important is the fact that every morning the beach is raked by our raking tractor, and if we have people on the beach, it causes problems, debris and things like that. So the recommendation is to keep it at 8 p.m. I am totally open to discussion about that.
Is that document in the packet?
No, it's not.
This is an
It was emailed. It was emailed.
You know, I know it was in an email, but I don't have that in front of me too. Yeah,
I can have it printed up for you, if it would be helpful.
yeah, I think it'd be helpful, and
Sure.
and I there were a number of cons to having it open later, which we could have a discussion on, but I don't feel a number of those are very valid.
Say your piece.
I'd like,
Josh,
sorry,
go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to cut you off, Keith. I'd like to move the time later than 8. The sun at peak season is going down closer to 9. And I'd just like to see it at 10 o'clock. That would be my preference. I feel like, you know, we should just have as much openness and ability to access nature. I appreciate the cleanup in the morning and the need to shut it down at some point, but To me, 10 o'clock is, would be an appropriate way to go.
What time would this cleanup be in the morning?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. So do you feel that there's going to be a lot of people gathered for a sunrise in the beach, or?
Vic Federico, Director of Grounds and Facilities. Used to go to the beach and go out to Jones Beach. I try and get there for 7 a.m. You're gonna have people on the beach. You can talk to the colleagues here, security who's been around. You're gonna have a couple of hundred people on the beach.
Do you think it's 7 a.m. on
By 9 o'clock.
by 9 o'clock? And where do you guys finish? You're starting
We usually start around 6
around 6.
and usually ends around 8:30.
May I make a suggestion? I would like to suggest a compromise and make it at 9 o'clock to start, subject to review, because we can always review this. We're not gonna pass a resolution. This is an administrative decision and a policy of the commissioners. But I would like to suggest that we move it from 8 to 9 o'clock, and we can revisit it as time goes on in June.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's more of an issue of not closing, which Josh had mentioned that it would be closed at 10 o'clock. So therefore, if it was closed at 10 o'clock PM, then we're opening it up at another time in the morning, which if that other time in the morning when we're opening it is, say, 9 o'clock, what time does it open now at this point?
9
9
o'clock.
o'clock. Okay, so we don't have an issue with
Yep. But
with
we
this,
do,
with people being at the beach between 6:30 and 9 o'clock.
no,
But
we,
the issue that we have is that we wanna, the time that the beach is closed, which isn't affecting the early morning swimmers and people like at Jones Beach coming in and being on the beach, prohibiting them
early
from
morning
cleaning.
swimmers is another issue.
Okay, that's another issue
That's
altogether,
another
right?
issue.
But the thing is, so we're more concerned about, is it gonna close at 10 o'clock, or is it gonna close at 11 o'clock, or is it gonna close at midnight, and then open up at 9? We don't care if it's closed between 6 and 9.
It's gonna be closed, it's
No,
gonna be
I-
closed at some point.
Right, at some point, but we don't care if it's closed between 6
So
and 9. What we care about is what time it actually closes.
Yeah,
And we feel strongly that it should be closed, say, at 10 o'clock, and I prefer, especially during the peak of the summer, it's not dark. I was there recently, I've gone there probably once a week, if the temperature's above 60 degrees, and had a dinner there with my wife, a little picnic dinner on the beach with my wife. We were finishing up, what time's it close now, 8 o'clock? And I think I put in an email maybe, did I include it in an email to you? Anyway, I'm pretty sure I did, that we were leaving at 7:54 is when we were walking out of the park, because it was starting to get a little dark out. And we decided to pack up, which was getting a little bit dark, and left.
it really gets dark by 9 o'clock, even
No,
on July 4th,
okay,
because I'm
right,
always there on
right.
July 4th.
I can say that, as a resident, as a working mother who may not be able to take the day off and go spend the day at the beach, having that opportunity to maybe have dinner and take the kids for a walk, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, sometimes I don't get home till 7:30. And so the opportunity, I think, you're going to see the park be used by residents who support the park via their tax dollars, who might not have the opportunity to use it during the primary hours. I think the idea of keeping it open later and maybe pushing it to 9:30, 10 o'clock. Nothing good happens, I think, after 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock when it's dark on the beach. But having, when it's light out, people in the community to be able to utilize this great asset we have, I think there's a value to that.
Right, and there's a number of, there were some of the other beaches that did have sunset written down there. Sunset is a moving target, and we're gonna come tell somebody that it's sunset. And I used to run into this problem when I had a house on a lake, and we were out water skiing, and it was dark and the sun was down, but we were still water skiing because we wanted to. And a sudden you get pulled over and you get a nice $200 ticket, and there's no discussion. So I think 10 o'clock would be, I would check.
One of the problems that I need to ask is, who is available to patrol the beach between 9 and 10 o'clock? Because you can say, we're gonna close it at 10. Who's gonna close it? Is there somebody there to tell people to get off the beach at 10 o'clock? And what happens if they don't get off the beach at 10 o'clock? Because we may have to put extra staff on it in order to do that. Then we have to review Debbie's budget and increase the expenses.
We'll review your budget, but I think, friends, I think of Rytown Park are quite generous and have helped us out considerably, and, probably will in the future as well. So I think that we need to look at, I'm not saying that this is their view, I'm saying that we need to investigate and try to see what 10 o'clock looks like. If there's a huge problem with people being boisterous and not wanting to vacate the beach at 10 o'clock, are those same people may be there at 9 o'clock and not want to leave, or 8 o'clock and not want to leave. As far as this small movement in the budget and asking someone to be there until 10 o'clock or hiring somebody to be there at 10 o'clock.
It's very refreshing to hear a representative from the city of Rye say, let's not worry about the budget.
I'm not saying let's not worry about the budget, but the thing is, I'm also saying is that we're making a fair amount of contribution on a percentage basis, so not that I'm flexing or anything on that, because I'm not at all, but I'm just saying that we feel that this is important, and we're not gonna be affecting cleaning the beaches in the morning, because we don't care if it's open at 6:30 or 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock.
My concern right now is closing the beach at 10 o'clock and how we're going to, it's closed now at 8, and I do know we do have some problem trying to get people off the beach at 8 o'clock. So I simply don't know what the answer is, but I would, like to hear from Vic and to Pete as to what the possible problems would be.
You know, I have a comment as well. Get Lindsay, go ahead.
Yeah, if I may, I think, and Gary, when we discussed it, and I am comforted by hearing what Mr. Cunningham has to say, that it's a give and take. And if we are going to do that, I think all the commissioners have the understanding that it may take additional resources. We may need a little more police backup at times, or there may be something where we're, spending more money than we normally would, but there's an understanding there.
So my personal thought is, so as it gets darker, it gets tougher to clear the beach. And I think, to your July 4th point, fireworks go off at 9:15. We all know that. We've been to how many fireworks shows. Basically, even on July 4th, fireworks go off at 9:15.
And it's dark.
And it's dark.
Yeah.
It's dark at that point. I'm concerned about trying to clear the beach. Can't see as well. We can't. I mean, my personal feeling is 9:30, just because I think at that point it's dark and most of the people are walking off anyway, who aren't going to be staying there and wanting to be there in the dark for some reason. So that's my personal feeling.
Well, we do send security home at 10 o'clock. That means they. Before that, I'll let Pete speak on that. I'm just wondering, are we gonna keep attendance on to check? Is it gonna be permit holders and residents only on the beach at that time? Because then we gotta keep attendance on until that time. So now we're looking at security and attendance staying later, plus the parking attendance too, depending on where the people are parking.
The current policy is to stop charging at 6 p.m. So what we've been doing is anybody coming between 6 and 8, they have to either be a resident or a permit holder to be allowed on the beach, and the park rangers are there at the gates. That, I just wanted it as a clarification.
Okay, so it's not just anyone walking on.
Correct. We previously had the policy that anybody could walk on. The problem that we had is that when it was time to clear the beach at 8, the park rangers were encountering enormous an very uncooperative population. And there were conflicts, it was very difficult. When we changed the policy to permit holders and residents, and Pete Cilio can confirm my understanding, then we found ourselves with a very compliant population. So people would follow, they were rule followers. And when it was time to go home, they went home. That was a very welcome change.
So basically, after 6 PM, it's only permit holders and residents.
Yes.
And we're clearing the beach because they're going home at 10. Since I really would be opposed to 10 o'clock, but I can see going to 9:30. 9:30.
Split the baby.
Josh,
9:30.
how's 9:30 for you?
I can go with that. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, good. 9:30. Now, here's another question. Since we're extending the beach hours, do we wish to charge from 6 to 7, which would mean having attendants on duty? At least we could put at the middle booth. What would be the result of that? In other words, right now you can go on the beach for free if you're a permit holder. Permit holders, you don't have to pay. But if you're a resident, to pay the resident rate after 6 o'clock, should that be extended to 7 to have people pay up until 7, or should we leave it at 6? It would mean having a park attendant in the booth for that extra hour. What is the feeling?
I think kind
I
of leave
don't
it the
think-
same.
Leave it?
Yeah, because it's gonna be more to have the park attendant, I think, more trouble than.
Okay.
And I think also, I mean, it's, you know, to extend the hours a little bit in the evening, it's going to be probably similar numbers of people that you've been seeing, similar crowds that you've been seeing, just staying a little bit later. If you change up the hours that you're paying, it's going to throw everyone into a loop that is used to it a certain way.
All right. Then I just thought I would throw that out, so it stays at 6 o'clock, and gates closed at 9:30.
9:30.
And the thing is, if it turns into being a big problem, if all of a sudden there's numerous incidences that, I mean, we're obviously not gonna stay hard at 9:30, but the thing is, I think initially, just to try it, I think also potentially, as we've discussed, we have a lot of capacity on our security system, as far as putting on some more cameras, and if that's helpful.
We don't
Right.
have cameras on the beach, but that is,
Right.
if you would like, we
Right,
can certainly
yeah.
develop a proposal.
Yeah,
For that.
I think that may be helpful for you guys, is that there's more cameras, and if your security says, well, we have a lot of cameras here, you're being filmed. And
To
that
tell
may
you the
be
truth,
helpful.
when we were discussing the security system, I mentioned that I wanted cameras on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that we should have a camera, for example, either, near the pavilion or at the Barley Beach House, looking south to Dearborn, or at Dearborn, looking north, possibly on a post on the, on the cutaway.
We had a conversation with the security, the video security company. Well, we'll revisit it.
Yeah, because I thought either last meeting or the prior, that I asked, when you were talking about, somebody was talking about the security system that we had, that I think you're gonna have 6 cameras on the system now, but it had capacity for 32 devices. So we have a huge capacity, probably not so much additional cost going from 6 to 12 or to 20. I don't care how many you put out there. I think in some cases for you guys, it may be the more the better to help. Right, to have some backup for you, and just to say, there's a camera here, you're on camera.
My view is that in a public area such as the beach and the park, the more security we have, the better it is. The more cameras we have, the better it is, especially if the people using the facility are aware that it is being used. Because I think most ordinary people who go to a place like a park would feel more secure if they knew that there was security you know, watching, the people are less likely to do bad things if they know that's gonna get caught on camera.
Right. But also, I don't wanna have, look like we're down
No,
in
we're-
a lockdown or something,
it's
and have
not a- it's
cameras
not a-
everywhere and visibility
Not,
everywhere.
right, not
but-
a security state,
Right.
but not a security state, but
Right.
a secure state.
Right.
So, okay,
May
So-
I say something on that subject?
sure.
Cameras are a great idea, they work both ways. When the public knows they're being videoed or whatever, they act accordingly. And personnel, when they know they're being videoed or they're on camera, act accordingly also. So it's a great way to monitor the behavior of your employees as well as the public. As long as you know that you're being recorded and you act appropriately. I'm all in favor of more cameras.
Thank you, Pete.
You're welcome.
I am too. Oh, Tommy, I know you're here. Do you want to speak?
Thomas Nardi, 557 King Street, Portchester. One thing I want to say.
Councilman?
Councilman, yes.
Isn't he the deputy?
Yeah,
the deputy supervisor?
Yes, for Town of Rye. I just want to commend you on the bath and the projects going on at the beach. It's fantastic. It's never looked so good, and it's going to look even better when everything's finished. My main concern when I was coming here was about the hours you guys were going to keep the beach open. Now I hear that you guys are going to at 9:30, which I think is a great compromise. But you also have to realize that these gentlemen here, they're also going to be here later. You're going to have some cost on this because they don't leave exactly when the park closes because they got to stay, they got to clean up, they got to make sure everybody leaves, and they got to make sure that the park is in disarray. So you're gonna have that little expense, which is, to me, is minimal. And I think it's great to have the parks open a little later, and I think keeping the time at 6 o'clock to cut off, I think that's also great too. But I like the way you guys worked it out, and I just had to say that, you know. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
I know Pam was on there. Did Pam want to say anything? PJ?
Hello.
Hi,
No,
Pam.
I was of the same mind as Tom. I wanted to kind of listen in and see what the decision was going to be as far as safety goes and the hours of the park. I do love the fact that, you know, we're making it more visible. Keeping, like what you said, keeping it open for families, keeping it open for residents is wonderful, but keeping the security kind of more in clear public eye, I think will help the parks team. You know, I have to give Charlie and now all of the staff that Charlie manages so much credit for the amount of protecting they do. And I appreciate the commission for making their job easier.
Thanks, Pam. By the way, Pam is a councilwoman for the town of Rye. And I didn't know they were coming here either.
Oh, surprise.
All right, okay, end of that discussion. Thank you, everybody. No, the management, Vic, you want to talk about the management report? I thought that was an excellent report. I hope everybody read it.
You have to, into the microphone.
Well, first of all, any questions on it? The one thing I will talk about is opening the permit office April 1st. In the past, we opened in the middle of May, and there was, for days, lines of seniors and residents waiting to get their permit and sticker for their car. In 2 weeks now, we've handled probably 250 people that have gotten their permits and their car stickers. So middle of May comes, it's just gonna be nice and easy. So we're trying to, you know, we're creating a new structure, moving the volleyball down to the north end to alleviate the bottleneck in some patrons being asked to move from where they're sitting because they need to set up their volleyball courts. And the volleyball people love the sand down there because it's deeper, plus they have more room so they can expand. I think, and the other thing is open water swim, having them enter through their own gate so we can check them in better and check them out better. That's important in case somebody is missing. We know that that person didn't come out of the water. So there's no other questions on there.
Good. Josh, anything? Josh is silent, okay.
I'd like to just to fill in terms of a backstory that we've been, Vic Federico and I have been meeting systematically with each department throughout the winter, going over the operating model, identifying any issues that we feel need to be addressed. And Vic has been developing solutions together with the department heads on how to address those. And you've seen several of those tonight.
Thanks, Debbie. I think that was, first of all, I just want to comment on the management report. It was an excellent report. I note we took Josh's suggestion about working with the city of Rye and producing signs. How's that going?
That's a good question. I don't know. We've put all the signs, we're sharing a OneDrive. So all the signs are in the OneDrive, and I'm waiting to hear from the city if they're able, which of those they're able to produce.
Good. Excellent. Next, unless we have questions on the financial statement, Debbie has a section here about upcoming events, not all of which have to do with Rytown Park, but everybody's invited to them. Do you want to go over those?
Well, I certainly want to give top billing to our annual community conversation, which is on Sunday, May 17th at 10 a.m. Under the pavilions at Rytown Park. And as of this evening, that will be our May meeting. So please, members of the community, please, members of the commission, please come and participate. And then, if I can remember in order, whoop, there we are. We have our annual intermunicipal community cleanup this coming Saturday, the 25th? Yes, April 25th. We have simultaneous events going on in Portchester, in Rybrook. Portchester, it is downtown, in the downtown Portchester. They meet at the Capitol Theater. There will be people planting at the Rybrook Senior Center. There will be people at the Rhineck, Mamaroneck River across from the train station, cleaning up the riverbanks. And here at the Rytown location will be Crawford Park, where volunteers will be planting cherry trees down on the on Crawford Road, and we warmly welcome everyone to attend that. And then that is going to be followed directly by an event at the Rybrook Portchester Rybrook Library, where we will have prizes for people who've been participating. We'll have a game to pick who wins prizes. We'll have pizza, which has been sponsored by Colony Pizza, and some wonderful speakers. We're calling this event Food, Fun, and Farm at Home. We'll be hearing from Renana Chevelle, who is the head of Fiddlehead's Cooking School, which is a cooking program for children. And they actually, that program is here at Crawford Park. And the kids are learning farm or garden to table cooking. They started our culinary teaching garden out on the grounds, and they learn to grow the food, they learn to harvest the food, and then make the food. And also, we'll have John Hazeltine, who is the Executive Director of Meals on Main Street, talking. So please do consider joining us. And then we have an Eco Fest. There we are. We have an ecology festival scheduled for May 30th here at Crawford Park. We are looking for people to table, to participate in interactive exhibits and upcycling and arts and crafts, and it's a whole lot of fun. And we encourage people to come to that. And then lastly is a sponsored, now I have to figure out what I did with it. We have a Pride Festival. There we are. Which is co-sponsored with Rye Pride and the town of Rye and now the city of Rye. So this year it is a family-friendly festival at Rye Town Park. We have live music and giant puppets and arts and crafts and a Pride fair and an arts shop pop-up and a performances and a wonderful parade up the Promenade to an after party where we'll have food trucks and lots of fun. So please come to those. Not yet. That's up next.
Because that will be in the city of Rye
Yes.
at our African American cemetery owned by the town of Rye. And I particularly want to invite everybody to come to that as well when it's scheduled. Floor is back to you.
Yeah, I'm out of
Okay.
announcements.
All right. We have only one thing left, and that's to adjourn. Unless,
I'll make
does
a
some-
motion.
does somebody have anything else to say?
Nope.
Josh, anything from you? Mayor Nathan? Must be off. Okay. Lindsay, you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody catch the time?
Time?